Appreciate you hitting the button. Welcome to the Hot Hustle Podcast with Hank. This is episode 143. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter at I am Hank. That's HYMPE. It's Hank. It's not hype. I'm not geeked up. Reoccurring guest in the building. You still special though. Reintroduce yourself to the audience.
Hey guys, it's your girl Sunny D. Um, GFT Radio Network. I'm all up and through there. My show is Unreservedly Us and Sex with Sunny.
And you gonna leave out the blog,
Oh,
website? You gonna leave all of that? Oh man.
my blog is unreservedlyme.com. Yeah, I'm everywhere. Y'all can find me. If you're already following Hype, you should be following me. And if you're not, you're unproductive and I don't respect you.
Copy that. All right. Episode 143. I told y'all I was working on this series for a minute. This is another episode of the autism series. Um, Full disclosure, I forgot to mention this on the first one with Tone. Shouts out to Tone. My sister really put me on heavily a lot about these situations. Been trying to line up with her, but life be life, and shouts out to Nanish. Um, Still trying to make it happen with her, but like I said, these stories are all different. So one story is not the same as the other. You might have some similarities in these situations, but everybody's kids is different ages and different people, different personalities. So now we're here to talk to Sunny about her situation with her son. Sunny, the floor is yours.
So
You
you
give
want me to start
us
off the
when I say
background?
that, give us the you give us the you give us the background, and then I'll lead you down the path with the situation.
Okay, so my son Xavier is 11. He is nonverbal autistic. Was nonverbal level 2 autistic. Um, I did listen to the show with Tone yesterday, and the slight difference with me was my son was talking. He started potty training at the age he should have been. Like he was doing all the things that he should have done on schedule, right? And then, like I said it on numerous shows that he sort of regressed. So stuff that he was doing that he wasn't doing anymore. Like he was holding the fork, feeding himself. Like when he was younger, taking food off my plate all the time. He was a food snatcher and stuff like that. But like, and then talking, he was saying my name, his sister's name, was a little bit hard. And acknowledging people and like my mom and stuff like that in the family. So where I went to his daycare and that was the day that was the week that all the parents were taking turns reading to the kids. And I go there, I'm reading to the kids, and I'm just watching him. And I realized that, there's a difference in my child than all the other kids. And I kind of kept to myself and like just was watching, just like observing him and seeing the difference of the big difference with him and the kids, just how he was socially, right? So, and then when people would call him, he wouldn't answer to his name. If they were talking to him, the minimal eye contact, just different things, right? And he always was a toe walker when he first started walking. So that didn't red flag me, It whatever, like I didn't understand that was one of the things that can identify with the plethora of things. That's one of the things that kind of stands out with autistic kids, right? But some, not all, but so
Explain that one to us, though. You said
was
toe
toe
walker.
walking.
Because
So they
again,
don't
these
really
is the
walk.
things. Hold up, because these is the type of things that, like you just said, me paying attention to my son in a classroom setting when I can see him around, let's just say 8, 10 other kids, and it's like,
Yeah,
something's different here. Most people will just act like, oh no, ain't nothing wrong with my kid, or my kid is just acting out. Like I said that on the episode with Tone, you'll demean this child for years about they just bad, they just don't listen, and they just got
yeah,
a nasty disposition when something's wrong and you're just not paying attention to the signs. So something like you said, a toe walking is a
yeah. So
sign that you should check into. But explain what that is to everybody.
so what it is so our most autistic kids have sensory issues, right? So you know how people normally walk with their feet planted on the ground? A toe walking kid is walking on their tippy toes. So they're walking on their toes on the tip of their toes. So they're like kind of walking with their feet standing up. So they're not really placing their foot flat on the ground. And if
Mm-hmm.
you watch them, and if you see it, like, and it's crazy because a lot of people that play football, stuff like that, like they do that, or do run track. That's you see them do that, and you don't think anything of it. Not saying all of them are autistic or anything like that, whatever. But that's one of the like it's one of the like the what is it called? I don't want to say ingredients. I'm kind of thinking the word, but like one of the, I don't want to say symptoms. It's one of the things that
Traits.
kind of identifies autistic kids. That's just one of the things. So him not but it's for them. It's a sensory issue. They don't won't put their feet down for different sensory for different or because it's a sensory. They don't like it for whatever reason.
It's
So
uncomfortable. Yeah.
yeah, it's uncomfortable. So like my son, if you see him walking and you pay attention to him, you see that he's walking almost always on his toes. Like he'll walk normally after a while, but like you'll see him mostly kind of like tiptoeing constantly like that. So that was one of the things. And then the non-eye contact when you're talking to them and they don't give eye contact, or you'll call their name obsessively and they don't answer. And to Tone's point, so what happened, like after that encounter at his school, I talked to his doctor, and his doctor was like, "We have to check his hearing because that's the first thing they say. Maybe they may be deaf, maybe they may have water in their ears, stuff like that. So you take them to to get their ears checked and everything. So he got his ears checked. He could hear. He had hearing good in both ears. So being at that appointment, the girl said to me, "I think I know what it is, but I'm not. I'm just a ear person. So let me in that same appointment, she called upstairs where the neurologist was and made him appointment. Like she didn't even let me call. She was like, "No, I'm gonna try to get you an appointment. If I call it, it'll be quicker." But she called. I had it like I tell you this girl called them, I had an appointment the next day. So I go
Shouts out to
the
that.
neuro, yeah, she was not playing. It was an black girl. I appreciate her. I don't know her name offhand. It was so long ago. But like she called up there. I met talked to the doctor. They gave me an appointment the next day in the afternoon. So of course I brought him back to the same hospital to hospital out here, and we went to this appointment. Now this neurologist specialized with children specifically. She does specialize with autism and a couple other developmental delays, but she also is like a general neurologist, but she does the added specialties, right? So we go to this appointment. It's 2 hours long. This lady did not talk to me, but for I believe 15 to 30 minutes. The rest of it was all with my son, playing with my son. She played with him for like the hour and a half, and then she sat down to talk to me for that last couple of minutes, and still while playing with him, and was like doing like a checklist and asking me stuff outside of what she observed. And she said to me, okay, so the diagnosis is autism, and I know that that may be hard to hear. And she said, I know
How
because she
old?
by
How
reaction,
old was he?
he was going into 3. It kind of matches where Tone is because that's where I think it. If you could diagnose it early, that'd be great. But I think in that area, it's kind of like you start to see their development thing because by at that point they're learning potty training, probably 1 to 2. They're talking a little bit more, stuff like that. So you get to see more of their development in the 1 to 2 going into 3 era, right? And they have expectations they should be at age 3, and he wasn't at all expectations. Um, so she explained to me that he was autistic. She gave me the level nonverbal level 2, which is high functioning. So on some autistic kids, autism doesn't really have a face, right? So you could look at a kid and not realize he has autism. Like if you met my son, you would not know he's autistic unless you try to hold a conversation with him and he's not even paying attention to you, haven't heard you, haven't cared about you standing there trying to talk to him all season. You may or may not get a hello type of thing, right? So
He's
she
been
did
known to
tell me
bomb. He's
because
been known to bomb on the Monday show.
you already know. If y'all watch the Monday show, he's there. Couple times. He's like a guest, a special guest host sometimes.
He's the fifth
But
host. Yeah.
and you'll hear him before you see him. But she did tell me because at that point he was not really talking, right? But he had been. So I was used to him talking, and now he's just not. So he
What
had
was that? Let's right there. What was that like?
to see your baby
Because
do
like you said, he's
something,
like
now he's
between
not
like
doing
two
it.
and three. Yeah, because like between 2 and 3, like you starting to get like to the all right, they can get off the couch themselves. I can send them to go get the remote. Like they start to get a little bit of independence, and then it's like,
Yeah,
okay, you starting to talk a little bit. You can tell me hot, cold type of thing. Now you
yeah.
just not giving me nothing. What was that like?
I think it was hard for me because that's when he started having the rolling tantrums. Because it was like, and that's what he did at school. Because I'm trying to communicate with you, but you don't understand me. So now I'm frustrated and now I'm just upset. So he used to throw all the toys away at daycare. He used to be he was a professional pull up artist. He used to pull up on the high chairs. But like he would get frustrated all the time because like now this sweet kid that was quiet and mild and not really like mild mannered and not aggressive at all. Now he's hollering upset with tantrums. And I'm talking about rolling tantrums to where you gave him like you guys said, you gave him a blue cup and he wanted the green cup that he got in the house, but now he got this blue cup. He didn't want that, and that's early in the morning. So throughout the day, he's having tantrums off and on because the blue cup is not what he wanted. He wanted the green cup, but because he couldn't communicate that to you and you somehow supposed to know, he's upset the
Mhm.
entire day. And to the point where he was at nighttime screaming out of his sleep because we process things in our sleep. He's been trying to tell me everybody this all day. Nobody got him. So now I'm knocked out sleep and I wake up to my son screaming at the top of his lungs like somebody done killed him. And I'm jumping up out of my sleep trying to calm him down, but I can't because he's mad about something that happened this morning.
And not
That type
to
of thing.
mention that it can't even be communicated to you
Yeah,
what
he
the hell
can't
the
tell me.
issue even is. Yeah.
Yeah, but once I give him the cup he wants, he's fine. Let me go back to sleep. And I'm up here sitting exhausted because this is now 4 o'clock in the morning, and now I'm realizing that he want the green cup. He want the green cup all day with him all day. I finally gave it to him, and he's like, "All right, I'm gonna go to sleep."
He ain't
So
got nowhere to be. He ain't got nowhere to be at 6:30. You do. That ain't his problem.
yeah, yeah. So that's what I was dealing with. It was hard because you're talking to a kid that was saying "mama" to now he's not saying anything, right? Because he said mama short lived. He was obsessed with my mom, so he said nana. He said mama once and was never calling me anything except for get come here. And like they told me that he probably would never talk. They said worst case scenario, he's never going to talk to you. Thankfully, like they didn't tell me he wasn't ever going to talk. They just said worst case scenario, he'll never talk. But if you sign him up and get him in this process, there's places you can go. Like I got a lot of resources. They gave me a lot of resources and I put him down with Children's Specialized Hospital out here and got him OT and speech therapy. So he was signing. Um he had the PEX book, which is the picture exchange books, which is problematic now because the way he learned is if he told me what he wanted by the picture. So like stuff that I knew he liked, fries from McDonald's. You couldn't see the M arch without knowing that he wanted some fries. Certain toys that he particularly wanted. If he wanted them, if he gave me the picture, the way he learns, he's supposed to get that. So we could be walking from school and he'll rip out the fries, and it doesn't matter if I ain't got no money. I'm scrounging up change because the way he's learning is if he gives it to me, he gets it. If he communicates that to me, he gets it.
My
So
daughter used to
that's
call McDonald's fries. My youngest daughter.
yeah. But like that's how they learn. So like even certain toys he wanted to play with, he had to communicate that to me with the picture. It's called the PEX. It's called the picture exchange system. No, picture something communication system or something like that. So that's how he learned. Like, and then you learn by sentences. So once you learn to give me what you want, now you learn I want. So you have to put in a sentence. I want fries. So if they do it, the reward system is to get them what they're asking for, type of
Okay.
thing. So that's how he learned outside of sign language. And then
All
go
right.
ahead.
All right. So this is because I know you personally. This is
Yeah,
why I didn't want to just dive into asking you a bunch of questions that I already know the answers to.
yeah,
Uh, Tell me the difference though when having your daughter and then having your son. Like the difference in in raising those two kids. Obviously, you have different age, different stage situation,
yeah.
but
So they're
the
11 years apart.
difference, the different, and so let's the different sons and all of the different checkpoints, like you said, that I'm thinking that you're supposed to be hitting and all that. Talk about the difference in the two kids.
So with my daughter, girls move fast. They just out here trying to be in the world immediately, right? They just coming
I
out,
have
poof,
all girls, you
here.
know that.
Yeah. So so she was and then on top of for her, my niece and her are a year apart. So my niece is a year older than her. They both born in August, so they like a couple days apart, like a year from each other. They're like ghetto twins, not really because it's my sister and me, right? But she had her to follow. So my niece was probably training at one, and my daughter Zaria was a year behind her. When Buddha was going to the potty, my daughter was going to the potty, just sitting there because
That was
that's
my
what Buddha was doing. So I'm gonna do that too. So
That
she
was
was,
my daughter and my nephew. He's 6 months older than her, so he got off the couch. I gotta get off the couch.
yeah, so she would follow her a lot. Like, so she was walking at 9 months earlier than my niece. She was potty trained before the age of 2. She had some accidents, but by the time she stopped having accidents, she was going into age 3. She was talking from the gate. She was I'm not your friend at 2. She was telling people I ain't your friend and everything. Like that's what I was used to. So and it what pie train was big for me with him because she was easy, right? He didn't fully get potty trained till I believe age 8. Because how do you explain? First of all, I'm a girl. His dad was not necessarily there at that moment of potty training. When he came in, when he came, because he was locked up. We talked about that on the other show. When he came home, because like I said, he was aware of him being autistic. I sent him the same books I read, so I would explain to him certain things, so he was abreast of what was going on. But once he came out, we were still struggling to potty train him, and luckily we got him to get him to pee standing up, right? But then we had number 2 was hard. So between me, thank God he was in the school that he was in. It was Trenton Public. It was a Trenton Public school, but the teacher he had and the staff they had in that classroom were amazing because with us and his ABA team, which is applied behavior something or whatever, that comes out to my house that works with him with behavior and social stuff, be able to learn how to take care of stuff like that, whatever. We all got on the same page. Let's potty train him because who wants to deal with a bigger kid, 8 years old, trying to make sure he know how to go to the bathroom by himself? I stop at diapers. I don't, and in the potty training phase, I don't want to go further past that. But with him, I had to. So we got on the team to kind of get him potty trained, and like that for me was the biggest accomplishment, other than him finally saying "mom" last year because he hasn't said "mom," but now he still affectionately calls me "mommy." But it's mommy, so I'm excited.
The first time you heard that mommy, what was that feeling?
I didn't believe he said it because like it took for my cousin on the cousin on Unreservedly
Shouts
podcast.
out to Cuzzo.
She was with me at the time, and we were upstairs, and all of a sudden, all you hear is, "Hey," and I'm sitting there like, wait, what? And he had to say it again, and I was just like, oh my god, like because for me, he was 10. For me to hear "mommy" out of my son's mouth, and I haven't heard that in God since he was a baby,
Nigga
just
say
learning
yeah,
the
eight,
words.
9 years, yeah.
Yeah, like to hear your child call you mom, and I was referred to as "come on, let's go" for like forever, or and come on now he's
You was
calling
just
me mom.
you was just taking orders.
I was like, yeah, because he was looking at me like, come on, let's go, come on, and that's all I got. I didn't get mommy, so I was like super happy. I didn't even cry. I think I was still stuck in shock because I couldn't believe he said it to me, and then he kept saying it that day, and then that sense died down. But now when he does say it, it's money, so it's
You
okay.
close enough.
I'm
Yeah,
okay.
you close enough.
Yeah, I'm close enough. So I'll accept that.
As the village, as the outside of the immediate household, what is it that the village can do to help you with these situations? What don't we understand about these situations? How can we help with these situations?
I mean, I say for me, I had to learn, like, cause when like to Tone's point, if you don't really know it, you don't really know. So you just assume all kids are bad, people don't know how to control their kids and stuff like that. And now I'm the mom at the restaurant, and he over there stemming. Stemming is where they, do things in repetitive motion, and it could be something they're saying repetitively over and over again for hours. It could just be doing it, or like for a long extended amount of time, and it could be annoying to others or bothersome to other people. Um, I say to be more patient, right? To be more understanding, because even though they can't necessarily, because like right now he can't say full sentences to anybody, but to be more empathetic, because at the end of the day they can't respond to what you're saying, but they feel it, right? They're like babies. They feel energy, and your energy goes off or feel like you don't want them around. They feel that, which causes them to further go through the motions and potentially have a meltdown because they can feel your energy, like whether you're apprehensive, nervous, scared, or just upset, they don't know how to differentiate your feelings.
Those
So
emotions,
it's
yeah.
fight or flight with them, which is called which fight or flight. They're more aggressive. It's a big scene than it needs to be. Or running. They want to run out of the situation, and because they can't process their feelings, they're feeling everything. So just be empathetic and less reactive, especially in a negative way. If you're not trying to help, shut up. Stop asking me, is they hungry? And I'm at a
What is
restaurant about
he?
to feed this dude. Like,
It's like when you run into niggas at the movies and they say, "What you doing here? What do you think I'm doing
yeah.
here?"
And then I gotta check myself sometimes because I'll be apprehensive of taking places because I'll be ready to fuck somebody up. Excuse my language, because my baby. Like, Lee, don't be looking at my baby. Like, I'll be ready to go off. Like, look at my baby again, and then I gotta realize that I can't give that energy because then, like with me too, it applies to me too. If my energy is off, he's triggered. He's going off. So I gotta check myself sometimes. But I just be, in mommy mode, trying to protect my baby and make sure people ain't looking at him sideways because I be ready to pop off. But I can't.
What is he like being an uncle? I seen you had the video the other day of him
Oh,
pushing the
so
baby.
I posted that for several reasons, right? Because people think because he has meltdowns and he can be aggressive, which is only towards me. They think that he's out here harming people's kids or going to harm their kids or harm my grandbaby. Like, he lets her know when he doesn't want to be bothered with her. She doesn't care. She hasn't cared all season if he wants to be bothered with her because she still wants to play with her Uncle Zay. She very much loves him, but he also wants her to leave him alone and respect his space. But she's one. She hasn't cared about anybody's space.
She
Um,
cares less than he does.
yeah. So he'll be looking at me like, he'll look at me if she gets on his bed. He'll look at me and be like, "Get out!" Like telling me to get her out off of his bed because like she in my space. But he plays with her when he so chooses. He plays with him whether or not he wants to play with her. So eventually he's learning to play with her because I think he's starting to understand that she don't care if he don't want to play. She wants to play.
Hmm.
So play with me for the little time you're gonna play with me, and then I'm gonna go be with my mom and my dad. But she, and I think with younger kids, especially the girls, they force themselves to play with him, and then he's like, "All right, man, here," like, cause it's time she had a toy, he take it from her because it's his toy. Like, why you touching my stuff? And then she'll look at him, and then he'll be like this, sliding it back over to her, like, "Here, just all right, for a couple minutes, you can play with it." But
Like you said, it's the energy of them situations where he don't give a fuck, but she really don't give a fuck.
yeah, so. And even it's funny because he
She
got the
like,
little sprinkler thing in the backyard because he knows love water. And her mom got into it, and he got out, and he came and got me. He was like, "Get out!" And they sitting there having fun, and so she don't even care because like once they get out, he's back in, and she's like playing with him while he in the water. She's like, "I'm still gonna play with you." He had to care, and I think, like I said, he understands she don't care, so he like, I might as well just play with this little kid because she ain't going nowhere. But when she first came home, he did not want anything to do with her. As soon as she came, like when she came, he'll look at her because he was jealous because he liked his sister. He wanted to play with her, but now you got this damn baby, and I can't play with you because you got this baby. But now that the baby's walking around moving, he like, oh, I can play with my sister and maybe play with this baby. So
that's them. Like, that's the I was always the baby, and now y'all done brought another baby into this situation.
yeah, yeah. But like and it's funny because he calls her Uncle Zay because when she like this, like she look, and I'm like, Uncle Zay. And so he walked over to her. He was like, Uncle Zay, and I'm like, no, that's your niece, and you're her Uncle Zay. But like, but my sister, not my sister, my daughter's trying to get him to identify her as niece. But he'll get it because
Hmm.
we keep programming to her. Once she starts talking, that's Uncle Zay, and then to him, that's your niece. So like he play with her, he'll play with her for limited spurts of a moment, like, all right, let's play. And that's why I say I think that video was something that needed people to see, because just because he's autistic doesn't mean he can't be a good uncle. Um, when she crying, he don't want to be bothered with her. When he's upset, she's like, "Oh, my uncle's going up. I want to watch this." Because when he's having meltdown, she's from, oh, like, "Grandma, you see this?" Like, she looking like, "Oh, my uncle is upset." So I think their bond is going to be strong. I think he's going to be very protective of her, and I can't wait to. I'm here to see their bond go stronger because I feel like he is going to protect her.
Last question. What was your proudest moment? The thing that he did that made you the proudest was what?
Um, it's funny because I was like, so when he does talk, he doesn't just talk to talk. He's very intentional about what he says, and it makes sense, right? So one day I was dancing around trying to play with him, and he wasn't beat that day. And even though it's a crazy moment, I just think I love it because I felt like I was proud because he said it when he was supposed to say it, how he's supposed to say it. So I'm like, hey, come on. And he's like, sit down. I'm
It
like,
killed you.
I'm like, what? And he looked me right in my eye with like a stern look and everything, and was like, sit down.
He gave you the eye
But, oh,
contact you
okay.
was
I
looking
sat
for.
down because, like, bro, you just told me to sit down.
He gave you the eye contact you was longing for and everything.
Yeah, like, cause that's why I said, like, when he does talk, it's purposeful. It's the intent. Everything, like, it's not just he's saying beans and frank. It's like he's saying what he means, how he means it, in the manner. Like that boy looked me in my eye and was like, "Sit down." And I was like, "What? Wait a minute. I know you just ain't telling me to." Cause like if you ain't never hear him say it, like who you talking to? First of all, like I'm your mom, and then he
I'm about
looked
to
me
say,
back in
yeah,
my
I'm
eye,
I'm the
like you
mom
heard me
here.
the first time. Sit down. I said, "Oh, okay. That's the type of time we on." Happy.
All right. Before we let you go, thank you for coming on. Thank you for sharing your parenting story.
No
And let
problem.
everybody know where to follow you and all of that good stuff.
All right, y'all can follow me at I am Sunny underscore D, Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, and TikTok. All one thing, all over them platforms. And unreservedly me .com, August 4th, podcast, um,
That was
podcast link
yesterday.
Lassa.
That was
Oh,
yesterday. That was yesterday. By the time this comes out, that was yesterday.
oh my God. Oh, okay, okay.
that's that's why we didn't go into any of that.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You can cut that out. I don't know.
We don't do no editing here. I came from live radio. You say something, it's on
Hi,
there.
Dad.
Um,
Well, if you
that
missed
was
it, you missed it. You
episode,
stuck.
and hey, we'll be doing it again. So you know what I'm saying, make sure you get your tickets. We still accept the money though. You can still send your bread in. You know what I'm saying, you hit that Eventbrite, we'll still collect your money day after and all that. Um, Sonny, like I said, I appreciate you for coming on. That's episode 143. Make sure y'all do me a favor. Follow at Custom Hustle World on Instagram, at Custom Hustle Co. on Twitter, and at H2H Cleaning on Instagram. Sonny, thank you.
You're welcome.
We are out.